When it comes to Quest 2 accessories, I try to find them all, test them all, but sometimes there's ones I've never heard of that you suggest. Doable in VR commented, hey, I have a strap called the Soarking. It's an elite strap and I really like it. Well, I found it and I bought it. Let's check it out. Always have that small, sharp unboxing knife in case there's tape on your boxes when you're opening them up. They doubled up the tape on this one. This thing is on an astonishing deal right now. It says it's normally $30, it's on sale for $25, and there's an extra $6 off on Amazon Prime, making this a $19 head strap, which is pretty cheap. You take it out and it looks very similar to an Oculus head strap. This is not a battery strap. Why is it so freaking heavy? Did somebody have the brilliance to just put a counterweight in their head strap to make it better for you? Well, we're not gonna get any help there. I guess we're gonna have to figure it all out on our own. It's an interesting design here. It's very flexible. Feels a lot like an Oculus Elite strap. It comes with this side clasp, which typically is for cable management. Maybe they figure in case you're gonna use your link cable with this, because it's, I mean, if this is a battery pack, they're hiding it really well. There's nowhere to attach anything. And then they've got this top strap, which is also not quite like anything I've ever seen. It looks like you put it through and then it's like a button rather than like Velcro or anything. You kind of hook it there and then you move this piece to where it's gonna hold onto the slack. It has been a while since a strap has genuinely surprised me, and I gotta say, this one is doing it. Gear feels really good. One moment. Bobo VR M2 Plus strap with battery and kitty ears on it weighs 440 grams. This thing weighs 368 grams with no battery. They definitely added a significant counterweight to the back of this to make it more comfortable and feel better. I am impressed. Most companies won't do that because it's not that they don't know that that would help, it's because of shipping costs. So when you're talking about adding that kind of weight to something, it's gonna crank up the shipping quite a bit. It takes a little bit of work to get it on there. Now, one thing here, you kind of notice it's a minor detail, but the plastic color doesn't quite match. This is more of a yellowy. It does make it look a little cheap when you're installing it on there. There we go. Boy, the amount of counterweight they added, that feels pretty freaking balanced. I mean, it's not, obviously it's not perfect, but there's a lot of counterweight in the back helping hold that up. Let's figure out this weird thing. Because there's no Velcro on it, it slips up in there really nice, which I like. It is gonna be, I mean, if you're adjusting this thing on yourself when it's on your head, that's gonna be pretty hard. You're gonna have to find the right adjustment and leave it there, because trying to undo that snap on top, I feel like that would just be a pain. Well, we're gonna have to try and figure it out. Let's see how it goes. Actually, it's not terrible. It is a little tricky because obviously you have to like find the hole while you can't see it, which always makes things harder, but I got it done. Wow. You really notice the counterweight. Like, you really notice that, because I've tried so many Elite straps. They're not terrible. Elite straps are okay. They have their place. I personally just prefer a Halo, but you really notice how much weight it's taking off your face. I don't feel like I have to crank this thing down like I do most Elite straps where it really squishes my face. Like, I can leave it a little loose and I feel confident because of that weight in the back just really balances this thing out. I see why Doable suggested this, especially at the price. Here comes the scary part. We know that Oculus Elite straps sometimes break over time, but we put one through the paces and we couldn't get it to break, at least in the first initial test. So let's see how the flexibility does on this thing. Maybe before I put it through the really hard test. We'll try this one. Good, 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 good. It's got a lot of bendability there. I trust that pretty well. Okay, we're gonna try one bend each way, because some of you said some of my other tests were a little much. Maybe we didn't need to go quite so intense. So we're gonna do one bend that way, and one bend that way. And actually, no, even in doing that, I feel like it doesn't feel brittle at all. It feels very solid. I had one more curiosity here. Some of you may still be on the fence or thinking about the Logitech course, even though you saw my review and I did not give it very good marks. Maybe you're thinking about it. I would recommend waiting. We're making a 1 month later video about it right now, and I think there's definitely been some learnings that I would want to know if I were going to get them. But since this is so similar to an Oculus Elite strap, I feel like these might fit on here just fine. Logitech Chorus headphones do slide on. They seem to be very loose, but I will say that's probably not their fault, that's my fault, because I've been having them, you can even see they're all warped. I've had them stretching out on my M1 over the last month. Stock, those probably would have slid on there okay if you wanted this head strap, and even if they were a little, you could put a little bit, just one piece of double stick tape, and they would stay there just fine. But these are, I mean, you can even see the stress marks on here. I've stressed them out pretty bad, leaving them on my M1. I cannot fault the Soarking strap. It's a lot of elite strap for a very low price. It has a counterweight built in, which is simple as that is, it's genius, and so few things actually do it. It's flexible. It is an elite strap. I prefer Halos, so it's not for me. But anybody who likes Elite or gets this, especially versus the Oculus one that's 3 or 4 times the cost, this is a solid choice. Doable in VR, thank you so much for suggesting it. I'm really glad I got to check this out. And to all of you out there, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for coming out for another one, and I will see you in another reality. Pretty decent.